For most people, breakfast is rushed and forgotten before the day even begins.
For most people,
Yet inside
breakfast
Buckingham
is
Palace,
rushed and
the first meal of the morning followed quiet rules that lasted almost 70 years. Queen Elizabeth II did not begin her day with rich feasts or grand silver towers filled with rare food. In fact, some of her habits were surprisingly plain. She often ate from simple plastic containers. She preferred cereal over heavy cooked meals. And no matter where she travelled, one small routine stayed almost exactly the same. That steady rhythm fascinated royal staff for decades. According to former palace chefs and royal biographers, the Queen believed morning habits shaped the mood of the entire day. While presidents came and went, while wars ended and new leaders appeared across the world, her breakfast table changed very little. Some people found comfort in that, others found it deeply unusual. There was also something quietly human about these routines. Behind the crowns, guards, and ceremonies stood an elderly woman who liked toast prepared in a very specific way. She enjoyed tea at the same time each morning. She even carried certain breakfast items during long royal tours overseas. These details may sound small, but together they reveal a side of royal life the public rarely saw. If you enjoy learning about royal history and forgotten traditions, perhaps subscribe and stay with us through this journey. And as you listen, feel free to share which breakfast habit surprises you most. Some viewers may even remember similar routines from their own childhood homes. One of the Queen's oldest breakfast rules began with tea. Before anything else touched the table, she started the morning with hot Earl Grey tea served in delicate china. Former royal servants said she usually drank it without sugar. A few biscuits sometimes rested beside the cup, though she was known for moderation rather than indulgence. This quiet tea ritual was more important than many people realized. Palace staff understood that timing mattered greatly. The tray often arrived shortly after she woke, usually around 7:30 in the morning. Even during stressful political periods, the schedule remained almost unchanged. Imagine living through decades of world events while still beginning each morning with the same peaceful cup of tea. Soon after came perhaps the most famous part of her breakfast routine. The Queen loved cereal, especially Special K from Kellogg's. According to reports from former palace kitchens, she often poured the cereal herself from plastic containers instead of waiting for royal servants. That detail shocked many people when it first became public. Some expected golden bowls and luxury foods every morning. Instead, the monarch of Britain sometimes chose the same breakfast found in ordinary family kitchens across the country. Still, there was care inside the simplicity. Fresh fruit often appeared beside the cereal, especially during summer months at Balmoral Castle. Strawberries from royal gardens were said to be among her favourites. Yet even here, she followed another strict rule. Out-of-season fruit was rarely welcome at the royal table. The Queen believed strawberries in winter lacked proper flavour. It was an old-fashioned belief, but one she kept throughout her life. Many older viewers may understand that thinking very well. In earlier generations, food followed the seasons more naturally. Waiting for summer berries made them feel special. Perhaps that is one reason the Queen's routines continue to fascinate people today. They remind us of a slower world that valued patience, order, and small pleasures. Another breakfast rule involved marmalade. Several royal sources claimed the Queen preferred a small amount spread carefully across. Toast cut into neat squares. Former chef Darren McGrady once explained that presentation mattered greatly at the palace. Even simple toast had to look tidy and balanced. Yet the Queen herself remained practical. She did not demand giant portions or endless choices each morning. There was also one food she usually avoided early in the day: Heavy fried breakfasts appeared more often for guests than for her. Bacon, sausages, and large plates of eggs were reserved for special occasions or weekends at country estates. During ordinary working mornings, she preferred lighter meals that allowed her to stay focused during long hours of meetings and official papers. That raises an interesting question. Did these careful habits help give the Queen her remarkable discipline? People who worked beside her often spoke about her consistency. She arrived prepared, remembered details, and rarely allowed emotions to control public duties. Perhaps the quiet structure of each morning played a small part in that lifelong steadiness. Some former palace workers even said breakfast became a moment of calm before pressures of royal life arrived. Outside palace gates waited crowds, cameras, endless responsibilities. Inside her private room, however, the morning moved predictably. For her, routine meant stability. One surprising breakfast rule followed the Queen wherever she travelled. Palace staff reportedly packed small supplies of her favourite jams, cereal, and tea during overseas tours. Imagine visiting dozens of countries across many decades, yet still beginning each morning with familiar tastes from home. For the Queen, breakfast was never simply about hunger. It was about continuity. That sense of sameness may have helped her endure the exhausting pace of royal travel. Former protection officers described long journeys where every hour was carefully planned. Crowds waited outside hotels. Diplomats prepared speeches. Newspapers examined every public movement. Yet inside private rooms, the Queen still expected calm order at breakfast. A carefully folded newspaper often rested nearby. Tea arrived first. Then came the familiar food she trusted. There was another reason these routines mattered. According to royal biographers, Queen Elizabeth disliked waste. Palace kitchens served grand banquets for state occasions, but her personal habits were known for restraint. She rarely overate. Some reports even claim she preferred tiny portions compared with many dinner guests. Breakfast reflected this same discipline. At Windsor Castle, kitchen staff learned that the Queen appreciated quality more than quantity. Fresh ingredients mattered greatly. So did timing. Toast could not sit too long before reaching the table. Tea needed proper heat. Fruit had to appear fresh and neatly prepared. These details sound small, yet they reveal the standards inside royal households that operated almost like clockwork. Still, there were moments when the routine softened. During holidays at Balmoral in Scotland, breakfast sometimes became more relaxed. Family members gathered together more often there than at Buckingham Palace. The Queen reportedly enjoyed local Scottish kippers on certain mornings, especially during cooler months. The smell of smoked fish drifting through old castle halls created a very different feeling from formal palace life in London. Perhaps that is why Balmoral remained so important to her until the end of her life. It allowed space for quieter traditions. Many viewers may remember similar family breakfasts during holidays long ago, when everyone sat together before the busy world interrupted the day. Another interesting rule involved newspapers and radio reports during breakfast. The Queen liked staying informed from the earliest hours. She reviewed headlines carefully and kept close watch on world affairs. Think about the changes she witnessed. During her reign, Britain moved from paper rationing after war to the age of smartphones and digital news. Yet her morning reading habits remained deeply traditional. Former Prime Minister Winston Churchill once noted the Queen's strong memory for political details. That sharp awareness did not appear by accident. Breakfast often became the first working hour of her day. Official government papers known as the Red Boxes usually followed soon afterward. Even in older age, she continued reading state documents daily. But behind the discipline stood another quiet truth. Breakfast could also be lonely. Royal duty often separated the Queen from ordinary family rhythms. Prince Philip maintained his own habits and schedules for many years. Their mornings were not always shared in the simple way many couples experience at home. According to several royal writers, palace life operated through strict timetables rather than spontaneous family gatherings. That contrast surprises many people. The public imagined endless luxury and warmth inside royal walls. In reality, palace life could feel formal and controlled. Servants moved silently through corridors. Private moments remained rare. Perhaps the Queen's attachment to familiar breakfast rituals gave her comfort within that unusual environment. As the years passed, age slowly changed some of her eating habits. Reports suggested lighter meals became even more common during her final decades. Health and energy mattered greatly because royal duties continued well into her 90s. Yet she still protected the routines she had followed for most of her adult life. There is something deeply human in that image, an elderly queen carrying the weight of history, beginning another morning with tea, toast, and careful silence before facing the world again. One former servant later recalled that the Queen almost never rushed through breakfast, even on difficult days. After the death of Princess Diana in 1997, public pressure on the royal family became intense. Newspapers criticised palace decisions daily, yet staff still observed the Queen protecting small morning rituals whenever possible. Some historians believe these repeated habits helped her remain emotionally steady during painful periods of change. It is remarkable to consider how many storms passed across her reign, while one breakfast tray appeared again and again beside her chair. In many ways, those quiet mornings represented the wider promise of her monarchy itself. Stability, restraint, duty carried forward one ordinary day at a time. Perhaps that explains why people still study these details today, searching for comfort inside routines that survived changing fashions, governments, technologies, and generations. In her later years, the Queen's breakfast habits became even more meaningful to those around her. Staff members who had served the royal household for decades noticed that she protected these routines almost like treasured family heirlooms. New governments arrived, prime ministers changed, personal losses came and went, yet the breakfast tray still appeared each morning with familiar care. One unusual detail involved silverware. Although royal banquets displayed priceless collections, the Queen often preferred simple breakfast settings in private rooms. Former employees explained that comfort mattered more than display during the early hours of the day. This surprised many visitors who imagined every royal meal covered in glittering ceremony. There was also her famous love of toast prepared exactly the right way. According to palace stories, toast that became cold too quickly was placed inside a special warming container. The Queen liked it crisp, but not hard. Such details may seem tiny, yet they reveal how carefully palace households operated around long-established customs. Another breakfast rule connected strongly to time itself. Queen Elizabeth valued punctuality deeply. Meals began when expected. Staff understood that delays were discouraged. Some historians believe this habit formed during her childhood under the guidance of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and King George VI. The future Queen learned early that discipline was part of royal duty. Think about how rare such consistency has become today. Modern life often feels hurried and unpredictable. Phones ring constantly, meals are skipped, families rarely gather quietly in the morning. Perhaps older viewers especially understand why the Queen's steady routines still feel comforting. They remind people of kitchens where clocks ticked softly and mornings followed familiar patterns. The Queen also believed breakfast should prepare the mind for service rather than pleasure alone. Shortly after eating, official meetings often began. Documents required signatures. Ambassadors arrived. Charities needed attention. During major national crises, those calm breakfast moments may have been the only peaceful minutes of the entire day. According to several royal biographers, the Queen sometimes enjoyed reading letters from ordinary citizens during quieter mornings at Balmoral or Sandringham. Many of those letters came from elderly people who had lived through war, hardship, and national change alongside her long reign. In some ways, breakfast became a bridge between the monarch and the people watching her from afar. There is another touching detail many people overlook. As the Queen aged, the faces around her breakfast table slowly disappeared. Friends passed away. Family members grew older. Trusted servants retired after years of service. The palace remained grand, but time continued moving quietly through its halls. After Prince Philip died in 2021, several royal commentators observed a visible sadness in the Queen's final public appearances. They had shared more than 70 years of marriage, filled with both affection and duty. Although their daily schedules often differed, his absence changed the emotional atmosphere of royal life forever. One can only wonder how different those final breakfasts may have felt after decades beside the same companion. Yet even then, reports suggested she continued following many familiar habits. Tea arrived, newspapers waited nearby, toast rested neatly on the tray. In moments of grief, routine can become a form of strength. Many viewers who have experienced loss may understand that feeling deeply. The story of Queen Elizabeth's breakfast rules is really about more than food. It is about a generation shaped by war, sacrifice, patience, and restraint. Her habits reflected values learned long before modern celebrity culture transformed public life. She rarely chased trends, she trusted routines instead. That may be why these quiet details continue touching people around the world. Beneath the royal titles stood a woman who found comfort in ordinary things. A warm cup of tea, fresh strawberries in summer, marmalade spread carefully across toast, calm mornings before difficult responsibilities began again. In the end, perhaps the greatest lesson from her breakfast table is not about royalty at all. It is the reminder that small daily rituals can carry us through enormous change. Long after speeches fade and headlines disappear, simple habits often remain closest to the heart. And somewhere inside the memory of Buckingham Palace, one can almost still imagine the soft sound of china, the turning of newspaper pages, and a quiet queen beginning another morning with dignity, discipline, and grace. If these memories bring back mornings from your own past, you are not alone. Many people remember parents or grandparents who followed routines each day without ever speaking about them. Those habits quietly held families together through difficult years. Perhaps that is why Queen Elizabeth's breakfast traditions still feel familiar despite the distance of royal life. They speak to something timeless inside ordinary human experience. And if you have memories of family breakfasts from long ago, perhaps share them with others who still treasure those gentle moments today.